beautiful dreamers. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that every pet parent will or has experienced, and that is pet loss or pet grief. As you know, I recently lost my dog of almost 17 years, and I've also lost 2 cats that I was very close to, and then of course I've also lost my rats, my hamsters, the death of a bird, fish, stuff like that. And I have my notes because I don't want to leave anything out. Trust your phone. And this is just going to be, my experience and how I dealt with pet loss and the stages of pet loss. Alright, so let's go into the first stage, and that is denial. So when I first lost an animal that was very dear to me, that was my cat. He developed a UTI, and we didn't know at the time that he was very sick. We just thought he was being a brat and peeing wherever he wanted to pee. And so we took him to the vet, and we had to put him down. This was it was a shock to us. And we were, with denial, I didn't experience this, but some people do. They'll do anything they can. They'll plead, they'll bargain to the doctor, to the vet. What can you do to save my pet's life? I'll do anything. I have X amount of money. Just save the pet's life. And that is denial, which I didn't deal with that one with any of my pets. Of course, it also comes shock. When I lost this cat I'm talking about, like I said, it was something we didn't expect. We were all in shock. We thought we were just gonna, take him to the vet, get him some medicine, pay the bill, take him home. We didn't expect to, leave empty-handed, and we didn't really get to say goodbye. It was just so sudden. I think I was about, I'm gonna say I was about 16 or 17 at the time. I mean, I've lost pets before that. This one was, a great blow to us and my family. And after we gave them consent to euthanize our cat, we all went to the car, crying our eyes out. It was me, my 2 sisters, my mom, and we just rode in silence. And when we got home, we all went to our different ways to start the mourning process. It was such a shock to us that I don't think we really talked about it, about how we felt. So now we're going to talk about guilt. And this is also for someone, the actual owner, who has to make that decision, the decision to euthanize their beloved pet. Again, I never had to feel the guilt, because at the time, again with this cat, I was just 16 or 17. It wasn't my decision. It was my dad's decision. And my mom was just, she cried too. It was just, it's terrible. So yeah, I had no guilt because it wasn't my decision. Okay, so the next stage, anger. And boy did I have anger. I was so upset for months. I blamed my dad. It was his fault. He's the one that gave the consent to euthanize or murder this cat. It was the vet's fault because she couldn't do all she could do. It was the vet clinic's fault for employing that stupid vet who didn't know what she was doing. So yeah, I was very angry for quite some time. And, dealing with the other losses, like with my rats and my hamsters, when you get to say goodbye, it's a little different, because with my rats, I actually I got to hold them. My rat had a respiratory, what's it called? It's a respiratory infections that rats commonly get. So, he had medicine that he wasn't reacting to. It was doing him no good. I gave him a special diet, did everything. He just wasn't getting any better, and it wasn't helping him. So he eventually died, and I got to hold him in my hands and tell him it was okay to take his final breath. And then I held him like this, and then he passed away with his final breath. I also had another rat who passed away from the same thing. It's very common in rats. And I only had her about a month, because she was a hairless rat, and I got her at Petco. She was adoptable because someone had just abandoned her there, and I took her in. And she tried to do the same thing, and I also held her, told her it was okay, you know, just go to sleep for the final time, and she did. So when a pet goes like that, it's much easier to deal, especially if it's a long-term illness, like my other cat. Her name was Miss Kitty. She was almost, I'm gonna say 18 or 19 years old when she passed. So, you know, with a cat that age, that's showing already signs of, you know, she was getting skinnier, she was blind, she was toothless, she would have seizures. So with a pet like that, you're watching her, you know, slowly progress towards the final days. And it was more easier for her than it was for her son, which is the cat I've been talking about, that we lost at 8 years old. So I didn't feel much sorrow with her because it was expected, if that makes sense. Alright, so next stage, depression. Now, depression, of course, is an overwhelming sadness. You see your pet's empty food bowls, maybe their grooming supplies, their toys. And if it's your only pet, you're definitely going to notice. I mean, you're going to notice either way, but you're definitely going to notice that something is missing. Now, when my fish died, I was very close to one of my puffers, and she was my saltwater puffer. When she died, I kept feeling like something was missing. I mean, I didn't cry over her death, but of course it affected me. But I would go to the aquarium, and every time I wake up, I do a fish count, a fish roll call, and I make sure every fish is there and fine. And this fish was already, you know, recently deceased. It wasn't like eaten yet. You know how some fish will eat the body? This one was just still perfect. And I don't know what happened, but she was already puffed up when she died. And hold on a second. She was very puffed up when she died. And when I took her out, for about a month, I kept having this feeling that something was missing. Even though I already, you know, accepted the loss, I kept thinking, I would count, like, wait, someone's missing. And then, you know, yeah. So I kept feeling that something was missing, or something should be there that wasn't there. And then, of course, with depression, there comes resolution. And that's where you finally accept the death of your pet, and you're able to move on and feel a bit of comfort and hope. And this is a time where you might start thinking of getting another pet. And it's okay to have these feelings, because when my first cat died, the one I've been talking about, his name was Jasu. He was a weird name, but he got stolen when he was a kitten. The neighbors changed his name, gave him back as an adult, and that's what they named him. His name was actually Wicket from Star Wars, but they changed his name. So that's what we stuck with because he was used to it. When he passed, I immediately wanted a new pet to replace him. And that's a no-no. You don't want to replace your pet. Sure, I did get a guinea pig to help with my mourning, and it did help. But you don't actually want to go out and get a new pet to replace the old one right away. You need time to completely heal, you know, mentally and physically and emotionally. But with kids, they usually want to get a lookalike pet, or the parents will get them a lookalike pet with the same name. You don't want to do that. Your child needs to learn to accept a loss. So don't tell them Fido ran away, or, you know, tell them the truth. Be honest. It'll help them heal. And kids aren't stupid. They know the difference. So no lookalike pets. No using the same name. I mean, if it was like a fish or something, don't replace that fish with the same species. Get a different one for your child, if that's, or, you know, for yourself. So I think that's about all for pet loss. Some more experience is when my dog recently passed. I was also very angry because, you know, the way he went, which I will link. I will card the video here so you can watch that. The way he went, you know, we didn't get to say goodbye. As I said, it's hard when you don't get to say goodbye. He had to go alone. And, yeah, that's always hard. Alright, so this is just my experience with pet loss. Of course, not everyone is going to grieve the same way I have grieved. And another thing I want to add is, for those, if you have, you know, relatives or friends who don't understand, why are you crying over a pet? It's just a stupid pet. slap them for me, because that is the most cruelest thing anyone can say. Especially on Facebook, if you put a post that your pet died and some idiot makes a comment that, oh, you know, blah 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 blah, you know, they're trying to make a joke out of it. Go ahead, smack them left and right. You have the right to, because that's just, it's mean, it's stupid. If your parent dies or your sibling, are they gonna make a cruel joke like, oh, well, at least you don't have to fight with your sibling anymore, or oh, at least you don't have to eat your grandma's home cooking anymore? No, you're not gonna do that. So don't do that to someone's pet. That's just heartless, and it's very, very, it's evil. Yeah, I've had that happen to me, and I've seen it happen to other people. Don't do it. We can't be friends if you do that. Alright, so I think that is it for my pet loss. I don't think there's anything else I want to add. This is my experience. Everyone's different, and I just wanted to share that with you because, yeah, as I mentioned, my dog recently had passed away, and a year ago my mom recently passed away. So, you know, back-to-back deaths, it's rough. Alright, so have you noticed I have a new pet? This whole time I'm talking to you, I've had a new pet. Alright. Oh! New pet is in my shirt. I didn't even notice. I thought you were in my hair. This is my new pet. Alright, come on. Alright. New pet! Alright. This is my new corn snake. He or she is about 18 inches long. This is the wild color. Or wild form, I guess? No? Okay, I guess? Alright. Let's see up close. He's eating very well. Yeah, you are. You're eating very well. And we're actually going to be moving on to fuzzies, because I think he's about big enough now to take on fuzzies. And I cannot wait until he's an adult. It's going to be so cool, right? I've had corn snakes in the past. Yes. You're just so cute. I love you. This is my baby. This is my baby. Alright, well, I'll do a video on this little guy. And that is all for my pet loss video. And don't ever, what's that word I'm thinking of? Don't be afraid to get another pet. Pets are a joy to have in any family. I prefer to call them companions. Alright, and remember that snakes are food. What? Snakes are food? What? Snakes are food! Remember, snakes are friends, and not food, and not belts, and not shoes. See you in the next video.